I was thinking this morning, is there any, what are the benefits of the benefits over time of mindfulness as we practice? What are the directions that mindfulness is pointing us toward and into in our daily lives, not just in our meditation practice? Yeah. There is that word, sampajano, which some of you have heard us mention before. Sampajano is the clear comprehension that we bring, not just to our meditation practice, but to our lives, You know, the invitation, not necessarily to be as precisely mindful, as we can have the luxury of being on the cushion, or at least attempt to be on the cushion a little bit more so, but in a general sense, as we move through our lives, that general umbrella of mindfulness through more of our activities. Yeah. Mm. And what are the things that can start to show up in our lives a little bit as we do more of our meditation practice together? What are the directions for that, and for the directions of Sampajano? What shows up? And what has shown up for me? What's starting to show up for me? I mention this because for the longest time, I had this idea that something just so tremendously transformational should be happening in my daily life. Everything should be different, do you know? And if not, maybe I wasn't practicing hard enough. Maybe I wasn't a sincere enough student. So then I would go back to the cushion and practice harder. And honestly, it made me a little crankier in my life. I thought more of life was interruption because I wasn't able to be as centered as I was on the cushion or on retreat and set up that whole polarity. I know some of you have experienced that a bit. I hope only a bit. I experienced it for more than a bit, that kind of polarity, that disparity. Yeah. And then I read about Sampajano, and it occurred to me also how important it was in my own practice to let go of this expectation of the really big bells and whistles, the really big experiences that, geez, maybe other people were having, but not me. And then I realized, well, there are some things that are happening. If I would just stop and smell the flowers a little bit and start to appreciate what is happening rather than what isn't happening that I think should be happening, What is happening? And these are some of the things that just occurred to me this morning that are happening, because there are changes. There are changes that are happening after these years of practice, of daily practice, and of Sampajano. One is I'm getting more gray hair. That's a change. Not so much taking things for granted. I used to spend a lot of time in either taking things casually, doing things casually, taking things casually, being a little bit more careless. And Sampajano is helped me to take fewer things for granted, which has really enriched my life. This has really enriched many aspects of my life, yeah? This is simple, right? Simple thing. A lot of these are simple, but they've been super helpful to me, which also means not so often forgetting the miracle of being here. Not so often forgetting the miracle of all of this. And the blessings. More gratitude. More gratitude. There's a downside, a scary side in a way to impermanence, but there's also a blessing to recognize, oh, this won't always be so. Oh, how precious. A little bit more balance in speech Isn't that one of the places where we've gotten ourselves into trouble with impulsive speech? Yeah. You know, that it's a little slowing it down, just a little bit. A little bit more playful. A little bit more playful. A little bit not taking the self so seriously. You know, we think the self is going to go away or be completely transformed. But no, it's about lightening up around the self a little bit more. And that's been super helpful for me through these practices. You know, I mean, maybe we should be taking, okay, it's the second year of the daily sit. Maybe we should be getting more serious now about our practice now. Let's really get down to it. Let's really get to the bottom of it. Yeah, no more lollygagging. You know that word lollygag? I couldn't even find it in the dictionary this morning. I said, what does that mean anyway? You know, I found out the word lol. Did you even know lol was the word? It's L-O-L-L. Lol. Do you know what it means? Lounge, slump, laze, idle, vegetate. Okay, second year of the daily sit, no more lolling. No, actually, but it is beginning to lighten up. Honestly, you know, time when I think of enlightenment and what that means, certainly part of it means lightening up a little bit more. Well, that's been happening for me. Lightening up. And having a little bit more sense of wonder about smaller things, you know, that I used to think were small things that I no longer think are small things. They're the little moments of our lives, you know, they're just brightening up, lightening up, seeing things a little brighter. It might be too much. I love Mary Oliver, the poet many of you know. It may be a tall order to say, as she said, at the end of my life, she died last year. She said, I don't want to feel that I've just been a visitor passing through. I want to feel like I've been a bride married to amazement. Well, maybe we can't be a bride married to amazement, but I'm certainly experiencing more moments of wonder and awe and amazement. And I think that's Sampajano. I think that's one of the fruits of the practice. I don't think it's a small fruit, you know? Yeah. And I love when she says, you don't have to crawl on your hands and knees for 100 miles repenting. You just need to let your warm animal body love what it loves. Oh. That's not a small thing. That's a big thing for me in my life. The movement in that direction. The movement in that direction. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. So apart from whatever big things I either wish or want or have wanted, you know, that I feel should be happening, it's helped me a lot more, Sampajano, in this kind of just more general sense of awakeness and awareness to appreciate all of the smaller bells and whistles and sweetnesses. Yeah?